back to the Motorfab YouTube channel. What a week we have had. I think this week will definitely mark a record sales for Motorfab. I think certainly it'll be our highest week in sales we've had, so really appreciate all the orders. The brake kits, you guys asking about the pedal and the master cylinder. There's a pedal kit just on its own as well if you've already got the master cylinder. They went up on the website, which obviously we sold like crazy. We sold a lot of suspension kits, so yeah, it's been a really big week at the shop, so it was really good to be able to get stuck in today and get some work done on the Monaro on Saturday. We had a big week in merchandise as well. I mentioned last week that the merchandise isn't our core business. Obviously making suspension and braking components and stuff like that we make is our core business. So the merchandise we do is a little bit of a sideline to help generate some money to put into these projects for the YouTube channel. So that's good. It just helps free up the budget a little bit to keep these things happening, which I really enjoy building these cars and bringing them to you. This is obviously the first one. We've got many more to come. So yeah, huge week. I got heaps done on the Monaro today. So young Gibbo came down, helped me out. He was a massive help. We got heaps done. He's been a huge help in the shop. He's a very good fabricator. He's been with me a few years now, and yeah, he's been helping me. We've been smashing out the orders. He's been getting heaps done. It's really great to have such a good fabricator on board. Here's his Instagram handle here. Feel free to go and follow him. He's got a few projects of his own. He's got an LS Patrol he's building. He's got a Cortina he's building up as well. So jump on over to his Instagram and give him a follow and check out his stuff. You've seen a bit of him on the channel. We've expanded the team a little at Motorfab here as well, which we'll see a bit more about that in time to come to help us deal with the influx of orders we've been receiving. My guess is it's only going to keep growing, so which is great. So we're expanding and implementing systems to handle that growth. We've been doing really well. We are catching up with the orders, and we are starting to get the bulk of the orders out the door. So thank you so much for your patience. It's been a challenging time to run a business in a global pandemic with freight and logistics issues and material issues and stuff like that. And we're getting on top of that, and we're getting our workload done and getting on top of all the orders. So we're still waiting on some materials that we've had a bit of problem sourcing due to the COVID restrictions and everything going on in the world, but we're getting on top of it, and it's a very exciting time with the business growing as rapidly as it is. So luckily I still set some time aside to get stuck into the Monaro, so it's really good. We had a cracker episode last week. We cracked 3,000 subscribers, really happy about that. Let's not even worry about 4,000, let's jam straight on at 5,000 hopefully. We get a lot of views, so guys that are watching, and if you like the channel, yeah, smash that subscribe button. Let me know you like it, so it lets me know I'm doing a good job, bringing you good content. A few comments saying guys been with me and the Monaro since episode 1, so thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. Hope you've enjoyed the build so far, and I bet you guys are probably looking as forward to me smashing some tyres off the thing and making some passes at the drags as I am. It's getting very, very close, so the exciting part is very near. Alright, I think I've covered everything. Check out motorfab.com, pedal kits, brake kits, suspension kits obviously, and get on there, place your orders, merchandise on the same website obviously. And let's get stuck into it, do a walk around, show you guys what I've done today, and yeah, we're ready to go. Let's do it. Let's kick this thing off. Don't forget, like and subscribe. There's been plenty happening on the Junkyard Monaro today. Going to go through all that this episode. As you saw last episode, the big donk is running. We're wiring and plumbing to finish off now. They've started on the cooling system. That's a sneak peek. Don't look too much. They're going to be our cheaper alternative radiators that we're going to be producing very soon. As you can see, there's wiring and stuff happening everywhere. Got our Willwood master cylinder in there, Motorfab brake kit. We've got a seat mounted in there, which we did today. The shifter is in, looking pretty funky. We're all connected up the gearbox, so we're shifting gears. So I'm pretty excited about that. And I've got to get the trans brake button top for that one. You can see our nitrous controller is in. I can't reach from here, but we'll run around the back and go through. Get through here. Sorry guys, the shop is an absolute pigsty. It's been so busy here, and didn't get time to clean up the shop. But anyway, we'll get there. See that nice little bracket made for the thing there. Got an MSD box in there. I think I just see in this episode. And yeah, so we just got the charging system and the cooling system to finish off. Bit of wiring, bit of plumbing, and then the nitrous system. Brake lines are all in. You'll see this episode as well. So yeah, pretty sure she's got all the front end in. The rebuilt front end, the rebuilt diff, all the bearings, brakes, everything like that's all been rebuilt. So yeah, just minor little bits and pieces now. Let me know what you think. I've actually got I've got several other Monaro doors, but they're not the originals off what we've branded it as the Junkyard Monaro with the General E number. They were actually on the car when I bought it, exactly how you see it there. So I've been a bit reluctant to put my other doors with the window winders and everything in them. These ones have been cut out, just because a bit of character. It looks like she used to be a drag car back in the day. She's got some old stickers on there. So yeah, if I change to my better doors, I lose the character. So I've been looking at getting some door inners and talking with a few people that might have some doors there for me, so that we can put these skins on the other doors and keep that character alive for a while. So there you go. I guess get stuck into this episode and you'll see it all unfold. Moving forward on the Monaro, a few more bits of the puzzle coming together. So we have tail shaft. So that's in there. Our good friend John down at the tail shaft place, which I'll put the details up for. So there's, John's built my tail shafts for me for the last probably 15 years. He always does a fantastic job. Never ever had one fail. It's one in bump in out there. The little chromoly one, and then this one here. So it's got a nice billet yoke up the front here, 3.5 inch shaft down to the crappy bit, the Commodore borgwarner, little yoke, little uni. We could have put a custom setup on the flange on there to hold a 1350 uni, but we didn't because the diff broke before that happens, and I don't want to spend too much money making custom parts to keep this diff, because the diff's probably going to break and then we're going to put a 9 inch in it anyway, so we'll just go with that. If the uni breaks before the diff, or hey, we just got unlucky there. And we're also just finishing off the brake line. So see there, we've got a nice rebuilt Commodore caliper line. I've got to weld the mounts onto the diff here, up and over the diff. Other side, these nice little ADR braided lines. Then we've got, where are we? We've got our T piece there, runs up over the diff, and the factory mount there. We've got a hard line, everything's nut set, so it all bolts in, not riveted or screwed. We go around now. The factory line is a pain in the butt because it normally goes over here, as you can see the mark. If they're mini tubbed or with the traction bar set up, and you usually got the fuel lines, the brake lines, and everything going through there, it gets a bit tight in that area. So I've actually opted to run the brake line out the side, down the outside of the mount there. Keeps it out of the way, especially if you're doing burnouts and popping tyres and stuff. You're going to get the brake line out of the way. So that runs down there. Now you can see here a little bit of a sneak peek, a little bit of secret squirrel stuff going on. The long lines, I've all got these beautiful little stainless steel connectors because we have actually modularizing or making a kit form of the brake line. So we a bit of a secret stuff going on. We're making kits that will be for sale soon, but not yet. So just be patient. Hold your horses. There you can see another joiner there, so we'll be able to package them up and freight them anywhere around the country. Up there to some cool little bulkheads through the inner guard. You got caliper there, another nice line there, up and over, and then that goes up to our Wellwood master. Lines down there to our pedal kit. Same over this side. Nice new line, factory spot up over the behind the bell housing there, and there you can see that this one's had a bit of the inner guard chopped out, but you can see the out of the car, but the rest of it's all good. Got a nice bulkhead fitting to come through the inner guard, so that it's all nice and neat. So yeah, really cool, that brake line kit. Really happy with that. So moving forward and getting this thing done, and hook into it and keep working. So we're just about to start putting the shifter in the Monaro. Look at this relic. So I got this beautiful shifter here. It comes with a bit of a story actually. If you look inside, that plate's out of bump in from when it had a Turbo 400 in it. But the rest of this bit is a bit how you going, but I actually don't think it's ever been used. And it's got the cable with it. How this came apart was when originally I bought the LJ. It was a complete car. It wasn't going at the time, but I actually got it running and driving. So I drove it into the shop as a complete car and then cut it to pieces, which a lot of people think is sacrilege. But hey, that exact car, exactly how I'm building it, was always my dream car. So I just built it the way I wanted to build it. Didn't really care about it. I think I sold the interior out of it, some other bits and pieces for what the car owed me. So there was nothing lost financially. Just a two-door Tirana that's not longer a streetable two-door Tirana. But that, like you say, that's your dream car. That's your dream car. Now, when I was selling all the parts off that car, I sold the fuel tank out of it. And the guy messaged me, and he didn't have, I don't know if he didn't have the money or what, but he wanted to swap me a shifter for the thing. And this is the shifter. And it turned up, it was a bit ratty, but hey, at the end of the day, it was just an LJ Tirana fuel tank. I had no attachment to it. And so I didn't really know what to do with the shifter. It's just been sitting around for a few years. Now we got a purpose for it, to go in the Monaro. So that was a good part. We got that now, so let's put it in. Now these bits here are a bit manky, obviously, but I'm not too worried about that, because when you install a lot of shifters in people's cars, I have got lots and lots of all the different parts, because they come with the parts for Powerglide, Turbo 400, whatever else they come with every time. So every time you do one, you get left with spares for the other. So over the years I've accumulated quite a few of these, so they're all in nice condition. So put those, replace all the rusty old manky bits, and clean this up. I think the shifter will look alright once it's in. And like I said, I don't think it's been used, so it should work great. Okay, so go and buy our Destructions GM Turbo 700. We need that one. In the F-hole, that one. I've got rusty one, so there's the other one. I've got heaps of those. I've got heaps of those, so that, we'll put that on the box. I haven't done one of these for a while. From memory, I think that there was always an issue, something didn't go exactly where the instructions said, but I can't remember if it was 400 or glide or something, but we'll figure that out as we go, when it won't go into gear. So I'll try to show you guys what I can while I can film one-handed. Pop that on there. We'll tighten it all up at the end. And then I think it's these two holes here, and you got little spaces, and the plate hangs down. So I'll grab all that. So you got a plate, a spacer goes on top of the plate, a bolt goes through, and you'll see once it's in, then you got the pan as well. There's not really enough thread. You end up busting the thread out the bottom of the box, so I'm just going to grab some longer bolts for that bad boy. So there you go, got that bit on there. Looks good. So far we've got all the parts. And that bit on there, that longer bolts, cables in. Yeah, even a little rubber boots, everything's there so far. No dramas yet. So we'll run this cable around up to where it needs to go. Unfortunately, we're going to have to punch a hole in our floor somewhere, drill a hole, because at the moment there's no holes in the floor, so we'll make some holes. This pipe, you can see, I don't know what's happened, this one stayed pretty good. I made them really close over that side, sorry about the light. And this one, this is what I hate about individual runners. And we've welded it up, it's kicked over a little bit. It was a bit of a pain to get on, so it's kicked over that way, which has, you're not looking into the sun there, so it's just tightened up my space here a little bit. It's still got finger there, but yeah, I'll pull the cable over as much as I can. I might try to push the pipes over a bit, try to loosen them off and tweak them over. We've got a bit of space there, but obviously you don't want to melt the shifter cable. It's always a bit of a problem, so we'll try to address that issue as well. It's pretty self-explanatory, running the old cable. Don't kink it, don't run it too tight of bends, don't run it on something that's going to rub through it, and don't run any hot things. So, but this one's got to go actually up and around back to the shifter like that, but up on top of the box. So we'll figure out the best spot to drill a hole, I should say. There's something I can't show you in the car because you can't see up over the top there. But if you're putting gearbox in a car, this is stock Turbo 400 over here, I can show you on. This is the little tail that they've got, that's the breather for the gearbox. And they just push into the gearbox, they're a bit of a weird arrangement. Any sort of power is obviously going to push fluid out there if you overflow it, and could cause you to crash the car, so you don't want that. So when Alex built the box for me, he has drilled and tapped a nice hole in there, so we can screw a fitting in there and run a breather. I'll show you how I like to do it. She could show you, it's a nice neat little tapped hole, but you might nearly see it up there. And it's a bit hard to see with the pipes in the way, but so I can show you how we run the breather. Trying to focus, there we go. So that's the breather for bump in. It's got a little foam filter, there you go, a little foam filter in the top there. The hose runs up from that fitting that I was talking about, vertical all the way, so if it pushes any fluid, it pushes it up into here, any air out there through the filter so it doesn't spray shit everywhere, and then the fluid will drain back to the gearbox, so it looks after itself, no drama. Make sure it's big enough it doesn't overflow, and there you go, that looks after your gearbox breathing. But don't just put your gearbox straight in your car and not address that little tail, because it will cause you all sorts of problems with breathing, draining fluid down. First it goes over the pipes, which is a fire hazard, then it goes over the back wheels, which is a crashing hazard. So yeah, just a little tip to address that little breather before you put the box in the car. So we've got our shifter mounted in there, folded up a little bit of sheet metal to hold the shifter, because the floor's a funky shape, so, and it's curved, and there's a little hump under there, so it doesn't hold straight if you just bolt the shifter straight to the floor, and the height's a bit low anyway. So I'll put that in there. I've just drilled a hole with a step drill through the hole here, and then because our cable needs to come out of here, run through there, just put this breaker bar in there and just rolled the hole, sorry, you can't see, and then that way you get a nice straight shot with the cable, so that it doesn't kink the cable or try to cut the cable. There we go, and so cable fits nice. It's not no sharp edges, and we put a rubber grommet in there. Easy as that. Walk in the park. Righto, so there's our shifter all in. Cable run. Rubber grommet up there. Connected to the box. I was right earlier with my hunch. The hole on the lever, the instructions show you which hole to go in. It's not the right one. You gotta put in the other one to actually get it to adjust properly. So that's our shifter. That's all sorted. Gibbo's mounted up the nitrous controller there, and a little panel ready for the switches. And in here, we've got our MSD box. So that's got our retard for the nitrous, two-step, all that sort of stuff on it. So that's all hidden up in there. So we are getting ready to rock and roll. Couple of steps closer. We've got a bit of wiring started here, and a bit to do out the front there yet. We're getting there. So you're getting all the sneak peeks today. That's our prototype radiators. As you can see, no, they're not for sale yet. They will be pretty soon. Be patient, stay tuned, and be able to buy those with the shroud, motorfab shroud, and thermos and everything on them very soon. So that's in. It's got to put water pump on now. Water pump alternator. And that's the engine and the nitrous kit, obviously. That's the engine side of things pretty much taken care of. Tidy up the wiring, and we're getting very close. A little tech tip for the young blokes. I've seen people over the years really struggle getting steering wheels off. I've got my good GDS one to go on here. This is an old one been using to get him around. So this whole column's out of another car. It's column shift. It's all I had. Obviously, I got this car as a bare shell. So this wheel's been on there a long time. Obviously, I've seen people look for pullers and have all sorts of dramas getting them off. But I'm going to show you a way to get them off without anything. Well, hopefully don't make a fool of myself. But I've never needed a puller. This one's pretty tight. So what we'll do is we'll run the nut all the way off just to make sure the thread's all good. It's all good. Wind him back on. Now, make sure you wind the nut back on, otherwise you're going to do two things. You're going to, one, damage the thread. Two, you're going to smack yourself in the face with the steering wheel. So, wind it back on. Just past flush, just out a bit past flush. And it's easier if you got two people, but you can do it on your own. I'm going to use my knees and my hand. I'm pulling that as hard as I can, and then while I'm applying pressure on the wheel that way with my knees and my hand, I'm going to hit the center of this, try to get on the nut so it doesn't damage the thread, and the shock should plop that off. So there you first go. Sometimes that can be a bit harder than that. Good swift hard hit helps. And there you go, so it comes out and it hits the nut, so that the nut stops the wheel from hitting you in the face. Most of you seasoned old fellas will already know how to do that, but a lot of young blokes struggle getting the steering wheel off a car because no one showed them how to do it before. So that's how you do it. Straight off. Little tech tip. And we'll just check that our nut goes back on and doesn't see that sexy motorfab brake pedal down there. Only the best for the junkyard Monaro. Oh, look at that, didn't damage the thread at all. Pretty excited about that. There you go.
Follow white rabbit. I'm taking potions, call me Alice.